The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998. Welcome to PWR Sudden Impact Radio, breaking down all that happened on tonight's Impact Wrestling broadcast on Spike TV. Sudden Impact Radio is on the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio. I am the man they call me Dad. Thank you for joining us tonight for another fantastic show of Sudden Impact Radio. We're going to talk about tonight's Impact that is just going off the air now. It is broken out to a Donnybrook in the ring. All 6 competitors in the 3 main events for this weekend's TNA pay-per-view Genesis are in the ring. There's a chain, there's boots on faces, there's kicks to the groin, there's Bully Ray throwing Abyss into the ring ropes. Mayhem, a Donnybrook, a Pier Sixer has broken out on the main event of Impact tonight, the go-home show before we get to TNA Genesis this Sunday, live and only on pay-per-view. Don't forget, we also got a post-show that's going to be coming up this Sunday as well, right after the pay-per-view, right here on Blog Talk Radio. Also, if you need to hit us up at Twitter, we are at PWR Show. Facebook is facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report. I am the man they call Meathead at WCW Meathead on Twitter and the man they call Meathead on Facebook as well. Channelsphere, wide open. Head on in there. Join us. Sign up for it. Also, you can, if you want your tweet to be read on air while we do the program tonight, make sure you're using the hashtag Sudden Impact. All right, so main event has gone off the air. We're going to talk about tonight's, again, go-home show for TNA's pay-per-view this Sunday, Genesis. The show did start off with a segment setting up the main event. Sting coming out to the ring, asking everybody to, kind of give Jeff Hardy a chance, really. And, talking about how good Jeff Hardy is. And, he's a good guy. And he's doing what he can. He's a swell fella. Well, Jeff Hardy comes out, followed by the 3 heels, if you will. And then following that are Abyss and James Storm. Nothing but a shouting match between the 6 of them. So they go ahead and, set up the main event for the evening. So, and by the way, if I haven't mentioned, again, joining me this week, as in every week, is my co-host, Dwayne. Dwayne, welcome to the program.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, so we're just running down Impact here. Again, sorry to leave you out of the beginning conversation, but running down Impact. And we were talking about the opening segment, which sets up the main event. It seems like TNA seems to bookend their shows, and I don't mind that. You got a story arc. You open up the show with a segment that'll set up the main event, and it kind of closes itself. How did you think the opening segment went?
Opening segment went pretty good, setting up, the several matches for the pay-per-view and obviously the main event for the show.
Yeah, I thought it was nice, too. And by the way, if you want to call into the program, give us a call at 347-996-5278, area code 347-996-5278. We will be taking calls later on, but like I said, we're going to try to run down the final Impact before the pay-per-view. So, yeah, I thought it was okay as well. Nothing too big, nothing too small, just handling business, really. Just kind of taking care of things that should be taken care of. So, yeah, I would give that segment a pass. Just a pass, 51 to 49% pass, because it didn't really excite me. It wasn't anything new or, revolutionary, but it handled its business. It did its job. So, Dwayne, we're going to talk about the knockouts for a second. Now, I'm not going to complain because I like knockouts, wearing very little. I like knockouts by the pool. I've said this before already on the program, even with you. I like, I'm 50-50 on Madison. I can go hot and cold. Well, she started off hot for me. She looks phenomenal. Ding, AJ, I owe you another nickel. But that segment's just weird. So Gail Kim is videotaping Madison. Real hot, right?
Yeah,
and then they find Tracy in the same Motel 6 pool. Okay. So that wasn't a luxury pool, folks. That was the same kind of pool you're getting at a $39.95 rental. That's a pool outside, by the parking lot.
Exactly.
Okay. Am I right, though?
Exactly.
Okay. Right,
I've been to a few of those. That's exactly what it is.
I've been to a few of those, too. But anyway, so they set that up. They find Tracy. Gail starts filming that. how ironic was it that she placed down the camera and they fought in the shot the whole time? And where did Mickey come from? Are they all sleeping at the same hotel together? Are they all just hanging out together?
They gotta be.
Oh boy. There's a lot of loopholes with that. There's a lot of holes in that. I mean, it was funny.
Everybody's at the pool at the same time.
Exactly. Was Mickey sitting over at the bar? Was she sitting in the cabana area? I don't know. But it was just odd to me. That segment was a fail. It was a pass, but it was really a fail because it just, logistically speaking, it was stupid. But, you got to have some stuff like that. And, TNA does what WWE doesn't want to do, which is push the sex envelope a little bit. And they do it. And we're going to talk about another segment, speaking of sex, in just a little bit. But we're going to take a call right away. First, we're going to go out to the 269 area code. Now, 269, make sure you give us your first name and the state that you're calling from. But 269, welcome again to Sudden Impact.
This is David from Michigan.
David from Michigan. David, welcome to the program. What do you want to talk about tonight?
I actually am all for a knockouts tag match in a pool.
That's where it's going, to be honest, Dwayne. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel that's where it's going.
Yeah, well, I mean, today would have been the night to go there. I, for one, am a fan of them having a match at the pool. Had they done that, it would have been okay. It would have made sense for everybody to be there.
Again, it was just a bit odd, but it was entertaining in itself. So what else do you want to talk about tonight?
I was on last week too, and I heard you guys talking about how TNA doesn't really promote their shows that well.
Correct.
And I went to a show in Battle Creek, and my girlfriend went in there, and we're like, this must be at the Kellogg Arena, and we're looking around. There's no signs or nothing anywhere. We walk in, I was like, is this where the wrestling event's being held? Oh, yeah, it's right down the hall. It was like, there was nothing around. I've been to WE shows, too. And I'm like, you go in there, there's this huge stuff outside. They got radio stations, like, the table set up outside, talking about shave your head and get it, be the ring announcer, and all this.
Correct.
And it was just
gimmick.
the
Exactly.
comparisons.
And TNA should be doing more gimmicks. Again, it doesn't take much to call a radio station, a local station in town, say, hey, I have X tickets for you. If you can give them away, promote, we'll put, talent on the air. It's an exchange. We've done, Dwayne, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I've done this long enough to know how this little gimmick works. You get the guys on the air in exchange for tickets. You do some, interviews. It's real basic one-on-one promotion.
Absolutely.
So, anything else you wanted to talk about tonight?
Yeah, I think Impact is getting better. I mean, it's been better the last couple weeks. It's been a really good show. Mm-hmm. But I think what they're missing is what the WE is doing a little bit. Instead of doing these 10-minute matches with no commercials, which I know everyone hates the commercials during a match, but I'd rather see a 30-minute match, honestly. You're missing like maybe 3 minutes of a match anyway. I'd rather see a 30-minute match on Impact, and like, wow, that was a really good match. We haven't really got those. WE has been doing it for the last SmackDown at least anyway.
Yeah, and SmackDown, but then again, they don't do that on their flagship show. And Dwayne, I'll mention in a second, and I'll throw it to you. I don't know how you feel about that, but TV audiences need to hit it and quit it. You can't do those. I know those commercial breaks are supposed to give you that hit it and quit it feel, but they also don't want to lose the viewers. And Dwayne, I don't know how you feel about these bigger matches. I'm against them for television. Give them to me on pay-per-view, against them for television.
I mean, if they're going to do one, for the main event, get all your commercial breaks out of the way before the main event.
Absolutely. JR used to mention back in the day, he'd said, we've paid all our bills. We've taken all our breaks. We're going to – actually, you know what? That wasn't JR. It was Shivani. It was Bischoff. Those are the guys that used to mention it. And I always thought that was important because then they told you, hey, you know what? Stick here. You're not going to miss a thing. So, I don't know.
Well, do you remember –
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, you just brought something up. Do you remember, I think it was Big Show, The Giant, and WCW, and I'm not sure if it was Hogan, but they did commercial breaks, remember, in a match, remember that? And they went on to the next show or whatever?
Yeah.
It was on a Nitro, and they changed the match during every commercial break.
WCW was the one that started it. Matter of fact, their cruiserweight matches in the first hour of their 3-hour programs always had a commercial in between them. Always.
Yeah, no, but they did a title match. It was a main event during, like, commercial breaks of a movie that was on TNT that night or something like that. I can't remember who it was, but it was a title match. And every time this show would go to commercial, they would go back to WCW for, like, 3 minutes.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but, I don't know if that would work. I mean, it's all about the money when it comes to the TV show. Let's be honest. So, again, I appreciate your calling in.
We're going
to take a quick break. Don't forget to call us next week, okay?
All right, thanks.
All right, yep, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're also going to hit up the Chatosphere. We're going to talk more about Impact. You're listening to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio.
Don't forget to follow PWR right here on Blog Talk Radio right now. Be reminded of upcoming episodes and never miss Blog Talk Radio's most popular sports show. Follow PWR now. Stop stalking your ex and be our friend on Facebook and join the tremendous worldwide discussion. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report.
Welcome back to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio. I'm the man they call Meaden along with Dwayne. We are talking about Impact from tonight. Impact, this will be the one that sends it home for the pay-per-view this Sunday, Genesis from TNA. And Dwayne, what's going on with the post-show? I'm pretty sure we got a post-show coming up this Sunday, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Awesome. So I'm not sure, again, who's doing the post-show. I'm not in on those meetings. I don't go to the studio. I don't go to rehearsal. I don't do that stuff. That's not my gimmick. But maybe you have an idea of who's taking over the post-show.
I didn't get the memo, but I guess I need to check my email.
We'll have to check the email. Speaking of checking the email and being involved in what's going on at the Pro Wrestling Report, hey, Ask the Booker is live on the site right now, also available on the YouTube page and in iTunes. Also, Be the Booker for TNA Genesis will be on the site as well this weekend. And don't forget Primetime. This Saturday, David Hero unsuspended. For those of you that caught Primetime, David struggling to get into the TV studios, finally got in at the end. I don't know what kind of shenanigans are going on there. Again, I try not to talk in hashtags like Damien and Dave do, but shenanigans abound aplenty. So who knows?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's go back into Impact again, and let's talk about how things went down. We talked about the knockouts in the pool. It was funny. The knockout tag match was okay. The girls work hard. So, I didn't find anything special about it, but I wasn't upset with it either. And Madison, I'm hot on Madison this week. I thought she looked good and she worked good. How did you think the match went?
Yeah, match was good. Anything Gail Kim is a part of is going to go over well. I tell you who's really lucky, the cameramen. They always get good angles of the shots for the knockout matches.
And I know you're talking specifically of the pinfall where Mickey lifted her up and pinned her. And I said to myself, is she wearing anything?
Yeah.
But she was. Absolutely. And again, Madison, good job. You're on the hot this week. So, but it's nice to see Tracy wrestling in matches again, too. Instead of just being Knockout Law or hanging around with Karen Angle, she's back working again. It's nice to see her wrestling. So.
Definitely.
Now, you and I had talked before the program about Gunner and RVD, specifically about Gunner.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go on this in a minute, but I'm not really buying Gunner yet. So go ahead and tell us what you think.
Yeah, I'm not buying him either. Even putting Flair with him, I mean, it just continues to Flair shines, but Gunner, I'm just not believing Gunner. The Ric Flair that I grew up liking wouldn't even hang around Gunner. So I don't see the connection there. They're obviously trying to give him the rub. As of now, it's not working, at least from where I sit.
Yeah, and they're going to keep him going. They're going to keep that going, and that's okay too. I don't mind it at all, but maybe it's a different direction. I guess he doesn't have Garrett Bischoff to beat up anymore, or does he now? Because, you'll find out later in the program, Garrett apparently is back and recovered. But how many guys, when you come up with a gimmick like that where Gunner's putting guys in pile drivers or whatever move he's using on the concrete floor, how many guys are going to go for that? How many guys can you do to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a gimmick that we've seen over the years, and they're not doing it correctly.
Right. I mean, for example, the Goldberg gimmick went over so well because there were so many guys on the WCW roster, they could keep feeding guys to Goldberg and not really hurt any of their, named stars. TNA roster, though it's bigger, than a normal roster, I think it's inflated, actually. How many guys really can they feed and make it believable to Gunner?
I mean, they can do that in the ring, and I guess hypothetically you can recover the next day, that night or whatever. But when you get to the concrete floor, if they're going to sell it, then this is when somebody's going away and they're leaving for a while, once in a while, but they're doing it too much. They're going to the well too much. I think RVD also took a pretty bad bump outside the ring on the guardrail.
I think this might be a good time also for RVD to maybe take a break. We've talked about it in past weeks where RVD looks to be a shell of his former self. Maybe RVD just needs to take some time. A healthy and motivated RVD is definitely a usable RVD.
I agree.
Okay. So, anyways, the match wasn't really a winner. It's still Gunner getting put over and over and over. But let's talk about, I think TNA may have figured out, and this has been going on for a while, but Eric Young on TV, people like Eric Young. I like Eric Young. I don't know how you feel, but I like him in ODP. Eric Young was on TV 3 different times today. I don't know.
He was funny in each segment.
Different kind of funny, but still Eric Young funny. Yeah. And we'll just go over every segment that he was in. First, he's, in the back being interviewed. Yeah, we're still in the tournament. We're in this wild card thing. I'm in love. We're 2 crazy kids. And he's looking for ODB. Second segment, he ends up in a Knockouts locker room, tries to lock up with Gale, tries to lock up with Madison. Madison jumps on his back. Madison ends up in the locker and put away as he's leaving. Funny stuff. But finally, Eric finds ODB doing a photo shoot with some dude in an Andre the Giant T-shirt. I haven't erased it off my DVR yet, but I'm going to focus on that T-shirt. I want to see the T-shirt myself. I didn't get a good look at it, but ODB jumps on top of him and locks lips with him. I think this is something that's going to have some legs. Definitely,
and it was well done. It was well done. They have good chemistry.
I think they do. And, again, ODB also on TV is a good thing. Hey, if you want to call into the program and talk to us during Sudden Impact tonight, area code 347-996-5278. 347-996-5278. We've got about, I'd say, one more segment to go. I think we're going to take a quick break so we can get to everything else. Dwayne, you're all right with that?
Very good.
Perfect. All right. You're listening to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio. Hang tight.
The Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998. But you already knew that. You're listening to the most popular sports show on Blog Talk Radio, The Pro Wrestling Report. There's only one place to get the latest from pro wrestling, including the only place to get 100% verified wrestling news. PWRshow.com. PWRshow.com, where you'll never find pop-ups or misleading headlines. Watch or listen to all of our latest TV and radio broadcasts on demand, and get caught up on wrestling news between episodes. PWRshow.com is the cleanest, friendliest, and most fan-friendly source for wrestling news on the web.
back again to Sudden Impact Radio right here on Blog Talk Radio. The man that called me did, along with Dwayne. We got 2 calls waiting here. We're going to go to both of them. First off, area code 513. Make sure you're telling us your first name and the state that you're calling from. Area code 513, go ahead.
This is Russell calling from Tennessee.
All right, Russell, Tennessee. You got to be a Cowboy James Storm fan, right?
I am. I'm a big James Storm fan. Glad to see that he's carrying the tradition of the Big Orange with him. So.
Okay. So what do you want to talk about tonight? How did Impact feel for you?
Okay. For me, this is actually the first Impact in a long time that I've actually sat through and watched the entire episode from start to beginning without changing the channel.
Really?
Yeah, and I felt overall that it was a solid show. I hadn't read the spoilers or anything before, so I wasn't sure what to expect. And in the past, I've said that I probably would give up on TNA, but I always somehow come back to it in some way, shape, or form in hopes that it might improve, if you will. And I felt that tonight, the fact that I was able to sit through an entire episode without changing the channel, that was a solid show overall, especially leading into a pay-per-view.
Yeah, Dwayne, I thought also as well, and Russell, I thought as well that, again, the overall show was solid. It was the go-home show, and as we were breaking down Impact, we thought that there were segments that, even though, maybe there were some flaws in it, like the girls in a pool, all at the same Motel 6, I thought it was a solid show. So.
Yeah,
I agree.
The main event itself, I think, was probably one of my favorite matches of the night, as well as the tag team, the finale of the tag team tournament. But the thing I have with Magnus and Samoa Joe is they just still don't feel like a legitimate tag team to me yet. And Matt Morgan and Crimson, they're kind of growing on me as a tag team from what I've seen of them. And I think they kind of need, if they're going to be doing like a tag team tournament, the entire random selection. Like, honestly, I was kind of hoping that Kaz and AJ would have won the tag team tournament because they were one of the more legitimate tag teams.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Russell, and I appreciate your call. We're going to get to one more call here. Dwayne, I agree as well with Russell. I do believe that Kaz and Morgan look strong as a tag team together, but how can they grow? And this isn't to pick on Russell at all, but how can they grow on you as a tag team if they're not on TV other than talking in the back about how great a tag team they are?
Well, I mean, they look formidable, and maybe that's what he meant, and they look convincing in their interviews.
So, I guess. Hey, we got one more call. I'm going to jump to this call right away. Now, go ahead, caller. I believe you must be using Skype because it doesn't show your area code, but let us know where you're calling from, the name and state you're calling from.
Hey, this is Rob from New Jersey.
Hey, Rob from New Jersey. What's going on? What do you want to talk about?
Well, first of all, Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to you, Dwayne.
Thanks. Happy New Year, too.
All right. Well, I just finished watching Impact, and I'm actually surprised and shocked on how the program was actually layered and balanced and synced to a regular Impact that we've been seeing for like the past number of months, actually. And
I thought it had a good flow. Flow.
And it surprised the hell out of me because it was just like, where did this come from? How come I haven't seen this type of thing in like 6 months? And
there's a reason for it.
Well, that's the thing. First of all, we're in the Impact Zone. They keep on saying, "Oh wow, we're in the Impact Zone." It's Orlando, Florida, the same place we've been at for the past 5 years since we bought Spike TV. No, not bought Spike TV, but been on Spike TV, and everything. But you're right in some respects. Yeah, that it shouldn't be. Every week they can't pull it off, but at least come close, you know what I mean? Especially when I saw the Fatal 4-Way, or not the Fatal 4-Way, the tag match with the X Division stars. Oh my God, the guy from Texas, what's his name?
Jesse Thorne.
I'm sorry, please forgive me if I can't remember his name right now, but the guy from
Jesse
Texas.
Thorne.
Yeah. Oh my God, this guy is literally a stud. Why is he in the X Division? Like, answer me that. Why is he in the X Division? There is no need for him to be there.
Rob. All right, and Rob, I appreciate your call. We're a little short on time tonight, so again, I appreciate your call. That's okay. Thanks for calling in. Call in next week. Dwayne, we're going to talk about that right now. Jesse Sorensen. There's a reason why he's in the X division, and it's not because he's not a stud. Because he's talent, but the guy is less entertaining than watching Payne try. I mean, as far as charisma, he can wrestle.
Yeah.
Less entertaining than watching Payne try.
I enjoyed the X Division match, by the way, which I usually do.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed the match as well, but like I said, watching him wrestle is one thing. Having him come out, handing off, and then I kind of railed on this a couple months ago. Literally just comes out with some plastic football that he bought at Walmart or Costco or, at the grocery store, hands it to a kid. You notice they panned back this time and wouldn't let you see him handing to a kid so a kid doesn't reject him? I don't want to. Because it's happened.
Yeah, keep your football. Yeah, absolutely.
So, hey, we're going to run down the rest of Impact real quick here. Again, I'm in love with Eric and ODB being in love as well. ODB's she's a delicate flower, even though she does need a guy to beat around once in a while. She needs a guy that she can smack around. So she's got it in EY. Kaz kind of turning on AJ tonight during the tag team tournament finals, your winners being Magnus and Joe.
Big surprise there.
Because of Daniels sitting on the ramp, basically having a conversation with Kaz before the match, and Kaz bailed on AJ. So as we saw out in Twitter world, Aaron BSC said, I guess it's now time for the closeout sale at TNAshop.com on the Fortune T-shirts, because Fortune's done. That's the end of that. So it is what it is. Solid match again. I don't know how you felt about it, Dwayne, but again, I thought the match was solid.
Yeah, the match was solid. Did not see the ending coming in. I definitely don't look at spoilers, so I didn't know what was going to happen. Surprised there.
Yeah, I have spoilers in front of me. Only opened the day of the show, only so in case I miss something, I can go back to it. But, I didn't see that coming either. Main event, and again, I love this part. The main event was all 6 members of the 3 main events at the pay-per-view in one match. Again, not to throw it back to WWE or Raw versus SmackDown video game, but I thought this was a great way to build up to a pay-per-view, and then you can, mingle all the guys in the matches again. I thought it was a solid way to get, 3-4 stars for the pay-per-view. It's a great end to the pay-per-view, to lead into the pay-per-view.
Definitely. It's something that WWE used to do a lot, and I think that the biggest reason the caller was saying, the biggest reason for the change in the flow of the show is creative. The writer's different, and you can see that, definitely, in his past in WWE.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, hey, the pay-per-view this Sunday, don't forget you're going to want to hit up Blog Talk Radio and the Pro Wrestling Report for all the post-show stuff. Let's run down the card real quick. In event, Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Roode for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Kurt Angle versus the Cowboy James Storm. The World Tag Team Championships are on the line. Joe and Magnus versus Matt Morgan and Crimson. X Division title, 4 corners, Austin Aries versus Kid Cash, Jesse Sorensen, and Zema Ion. Knockout Scale Kim taking on Mickie James. Monster Ball, Bully Ray and Abyss. Gunner taking on RVD, and the Pope D'Angelo De Niro versus Devon. Are you ordering the pay-per-view?
I'm definitely considering it.
I am too, to be honest with you, and only because it's what we do. But if I were separate from this, if this was just me thinking about it without having to do any of this, that's a stacked card again. I would order it. So that's just me. So hey, check out PWRshow.com. Be the Booker. We'll be there this weekend. For Dwayne, I'm the man they call Meated. Again, thank you for joining us. Sudden Impact Radio, right here on Blog Talk Radio. See you guys.
Night.